Welcome to the power of purpose. We know that all things work together for good. Whether you have gone through one of the dark moments in your life, you've been through rejection, pain, suffering, whatever it is, somehow it's going to line up to bring you to the best that you could be. So hold on just right there. Today I have a special guest. He's one of our heroes. He's one of our greatest gospel singer. He's a mentor to most of us. He's a father, he's a husband. He's so many wonderful things that we can say about the man. And today I am with Mr. D-naff. How are you, sir?
I'm blessed. How you doing?
I'm good. Welcome to the power of purpose.
Yes,
as usual, I'm just going to start by throwing up some names. And you tell me what you think. Jericho, the rapper.
Jericho, the rapper. Destiny.
Yeah. You feel like somebody being drawn towards destiny.
Yeah, I feel like someone whose destiny is calling.
Destiny is calling, but then a lot of obstacles that he needs to overcome. Great.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw up a big name. The founding father, Dr. Sam Nayoma.
Okay. Dream.
A man that has a dream, a man that has achieved the dream, which one?
Yeah, a man that have achieved the dream that he had.
Okay.
As a young man, he saw the future that many could not see. But then for that future to be real or to come to pass, he needed to dream the possibility of that future.
Okay.
So he's more like the Martin Luther King of those days, where he was at the mountain top and he has seen the promised land. And then he wanted to take his people there. And when I see or look at the founding father, I see somebody who had dreamed the possibility of a new Namibia, where we can freely become who we want to be without anybody stopping us. No hindrances, no forces of the anti-government or apartheid era, where children can flourish and become better without anybody limiting them.
We are here now, become the best that we could be.
That's why the D-naff them were born within that dream.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Great. A name comes to mind, Lady May, Africa.
Grace. Yeah. There is a grace upon this girl. There is a grace upon this girl, and every time you go into her life, you start speaking to her, you start feeling that the presence of that grace, where if taken care of, if nurtured, if surrounded by good people or positive thinking people, the grace of God upon her life will manifest. Yeah. She will be a great worshiper Namibia have ever seen. Yeah. If these people that I mentioned comes around her and just water the seed that has been planted. Some of us, we just plant the seed. We don't, remember the parable of the sower. Yes. Some of us are just good with planting the seed. And there are others that should come around and just, they wet it, they water it, they nurture it, others will come and harvest it. Yeah, because you bring somebody to the faith, it doesn't mean you should continue with the discipleship with them. Exactly.
Apollos, I water the seed, Apollos waters, Paul, all that
definitely,
process. Yes.
Grace.
Oh, great. Another name comes to mind. This one you had sung a personal song about it, and the name comes to mind, or the figurative that comes to mind is the word mother.
Birth.
Yeah.
I see birth there, birth. Birth of a nation, birth of a community, the birth of a future, birth of a new life, new beginnings. Out of her came so much. And especially when I think about my own mother, then it's an emotional type of thought, because I wish this is a woman that could have been here to enjoy the fruit of her womb. Others are now enjoying it, I go around the country, school to school, mall to mall, cinema to cinema, restaurant to restaurant. ordering all kinds of food and drinks, enjoying my life. I can afford what I can now.
Yeah.
Because birth was given to me by this great woman. I was telling my friends if she was here, I could have taken her to the cinema and then you can just watch the Avengers Endgame.
Wow. Yes.
Because without that birth, there would not be this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the birth of a nation.
Great. There's somebody that is very dear, Lady D.
Lady D. Change, yeah. I became the change that I needed to be after meeting such a woman.
Yeah.
And my past has not been that good. I don't regret my past. I like what I've gone through because it gave birth to testimonies and stories and pictures. I posted a video just a few days ago on Facebook when I was in the year 2000. I was giving a testimony, just 2 years in the faith.
Yeah.
Very skinny, hungry, and it was a mess that was being recycled now.
Yeah.
A woman that you meet along the way that becomes your wife can do two things to you.
Yeah.
Make you or break you.
Wow.
I've dated a lot of women, probably close to 100. Because I came from a messed up community that said, if you want to be valued in society, it's determined by how many women you have
slept with.
Yeah, I believed it.
Yeah.
And then I did all those stuff until I met Lady Dinah, who now helped me to become better because the possibility of being better is always within everybody.
Yes.
But you just need somebody to come around and show you that you can get it out.
Ignite ties.
And she did that, yeah. And now she taught me how to love a woman, how to speak to a woman, how to speak to children, how to father them, how to... our children have never seen us argue because she told me not to.
Yeah.
But we do argue, just that they will never see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, change.
Let's move into the current state. Dr. Hage.
Dr. Hage. Okay. It's like the major. He's the third president of Namibia, so he took over from Dr. Pohamba, who took over from Sam Nujoma. Nujoma is more like Moses from Egypt into the wilderness.
Yes.
Then Pohamba becomes Joshua.
Yeah.
From the promised land from the wilderness into the promised land.
Yeah.
Now, the guys who were in the wilderness, they had a lot of issues, man.
Yeah.
Because when they saw the promised land, they somehow were stuck between work and getting things just for free.
Yeah.
And now
there was manna in the wilderness.
Now Dr. Hage have to deal with convincing people to work and believing in the dream, in the Namibian dream and the Namibian house.
Yeah.
Now the house is yours, but you have to work for it also. Because Sam Nujoma gave us stuff as a father.
Wow.
Yeah, come on, you my children, come.
Why do you want to make me cry now? You don't do that.
So we got used to getting stuff free from founding father.
Yeah.
But now you see, if we can all see these three guys with the eyes I'm seeing, we won't have room for arguments.
Yes.
Because Nujoma was right with what he was doing. So was Pohamba, and now Hage also. So we could get things from home. And I'm glad that I'm alive in all generations.
To see the whole process.
The whole process.
Yeah.
So we can't blame now Nujoma and say, yeah, you are the one who made us lazy for just giving us stuff. That was what we were supposed to do.
Yes.
From the war. We are building.
Yeah.
Then from building, Pohamba said, let's continue.
Building, settling, now we have to work.
We're working now, hard work. They have that slogan, I think, in their party.
Yes.
They say hard work.
Hard work.
Yeah, so it's a connector, the major, the one that builds the...
There's a name that is coming up. Sunny Boy.
Sunny Boy. Okay, talent. Talent, yeah. Sunny Boy is a very talented young man.
Yeah.
He's a talented young man because I've observed his life since he started with his first song, Coco, featuring Gaza, or Gaza featuring Sunny Boy. And at that time I was just some upcoming Christian hip-hop.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, is this cowboy from Mashakati?
Mm.
So from those days, I just saw him hit after hit after hit. His songs always go viral.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to win an award to prove that.
Yeah.
The songs are speaking for themselves.
Exactly.
That's a very good talent. He's a very humble boy. He was also from the same background as I am. It's where I was just with him actually a few days ago. We were talking about our stories. I was like, yeah, you know, I used to be Kwaito. I'm like, yeah, you're just like me. Now, when we're referring to Kwaito, we don't mean music.
Yeah.
We mean like
Lifestyle, yeah.
and grabbing things. Yeah. But that's a talent, man. That's one of the talents. If Namibia was to export 50 artists out of the country for a year, around the world, he won't be left behind.
You'll be on the number.
You'll be on the number. Yeah.
Okay, I have a last one, and then we'll go into the interview.
Yeah.
This person you've worked with as well. I'm looking at Tequila.
Tequila. Whew. That's amazing. That's the only thing that's the word I can use.
Wow.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah. Other people can add another one. Grace. Amazing.
Amazing grace.
Amazing because in the industry, people don't want to hear things like one of the best female vocalists ever to have come out of the land of the brave. That's Tequila.
Yeah.
There is no competition.
There is no.
There is none close to her, none after her. The lady that is going to be better than Tequila is not yet born. So
yes,
she's amazing, man.
Amazing.
Yeah, her voice is natural, and she makes singing look simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then until you get to the microphone, you start struggling there.
Yes.
I worked with her from album number 2 until now. I have 13 albums now.
13 albums?
Yeah, so we have done 12 albums together.
Wow.
Amazing voice.
Let's talk about your upbringing. I know you a little bit about Shandumbala and all that. Tell us your teenage years growing up.
Yeah, Shandumbala that's a location I joined later after I came from the village. I am originally from the village, in a small village called Ndombe, brought up by a grandmother. Why grandmother is because my father was in exile, my mother was in the city.
Okay.
Yeah, she were looking for a better life for us. And my father, of course, as a young person, his dream was just, he wanted to fight and Namibia can be free. And we were left now in the care of a granny. Well brought up, good morals, just as the way every other Vambu boy was brought up.
Yes.
Wake up, go into the field, take care of goats, go fetch water, make fire, prepare for school.
Yes.
It was like that. It was a very simple, good life until I came to that Shandumbala you just mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Yes. And then as I came to Shandumbala, I was brought by my father. When my father returned from exile, he thought it was better for the children to go to the city and get some education.
Yeah.
He was right. Yeah, but then the city, man, is another place. Yeah. Because you do or you get done.
You do or you get done.
Yeah, so people are in the city, they are fighting to make it.
Yeah.
In the village, we had equal lifestyles. When it came to Windhoek, man, cars now. Sport cars, man, beautiful girls, man, like money, drugs, and alcohol, sex everywhere.
Yay.
I got attracted to that.
Yeah.
There is a saying in life that you should be careful what you wish for, because you can become exactly what you wish for. I wanted to be like what I saw. The local boys were the best dressed.
Yeah.
And because they were the best dressed, they got the best girls. Now, as a man, you also wanted the best girls.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know why they call them the best girls, but because they were popular. The most happening girls in school.
Yeah.
At all the beauty pageants, these girls were there. The guys were there with their, they call them the gusheshes. Those days they drove a lot of those BMW gusheshes. Wore a lot of expensive Adidas.
Yeah.
And earrings. Some had. It was the era of the knife, and the gun was not that popular yet.
Yes.
It came later.
Later.
So for some reason, these guys who were also well dressed, got the nice girls. Later, I discovered that they were also part of some gangs, some little gangs in the location. Different gangs were running the streets back in the days.
Yeah.
I just started visiting them and washing their cars, and then slowly by slowly, I was just checking what they were doing, and I started moving into slowly, and then joining their drinking, smoking. Eventually, I started smoking.
Wow.
Yeah, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 years later, I can say I graduated. I was now in. Even though I wasn't like a registered member of a gang or whatever, I was just hanging around with them. Yeah, enjoying the moment, you know. The money was there. I go to school. My cousin, one of my cousins, was giving me a lot of money. As we play some TV games. Yeah. And if I beat him, it was like 500 rand. It was the rand then. That was a lot of money in the 90s. Yeah. At school, especially for a grade 8 or grade 10 student.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. Yeah. Fast forward, that was the life. So much happening.
Yeah.
When did you begin to realize there is a need of transformation?
I got into a lot of troubles, man, with the rivals. Let me put them that way.
Two gangs fighting together.
Because the guys that were with us, they always somehow organize some fights in the middle of the night. Yeah. We are going to this location and we just attack, and then we run or they run, whoever wins. And then week after week, some people are getting hurt, you know. Some go to hospital. Eventually, it was my turn. I was coming from a martial arts class. I used to do karate. I did until I had a brown belt. I was, in fact, I'm still good. Yeah. You have to attack me at your own risk.
I see so the structure of the martial arts.
I was coming from the class with my uniform. I found these guys at the shop. And then it was those days to belong to Meme Sarah Elawa. She's now a preacher of the gospel. Yes. Yeah, she used to have a bottle store, and I used to steal a lot from her. Yeah, I told her that actually. Yes. Yeah. And this guy just called, "Hey, Ninja, come, let's play." I thought he just wanted to play. So I did my Jean-Claude Van Damme stories, and maybe he freaked out. And then I just felt the touch. It wasn't a touch, it was a knife. So he stabbed me with a traditional bamboo knife into under the armpit until here. He pulled. And I went to ICU. These days there were no cell phones, so my mother was in the village just visiting. They have to go to the radio, announce and say, "Your son is in the hospital." And while I was in the hospital, I was now thinking about revenge, how to take revenge. But while I was in the hospital, a few of my guys went after him. I will not tell you what happened. Yeah, then when I came out, a cousin of mine was sent from the village. He finished grade 12, so he needed to come to the city to further his study or find a job. And lucky enough, he was from the Scripture Union. Yeah. SU, whatever they call it, from schools. Yeah. He had a lot to speak about when it came to God. And I wasn't really so used to hearing God, the gospel. I went to church, but they didn't preach that kind of gospel there. Yeah. Yeah, they followed the routine where you read some books, some routine every Sunday.
The ritual thing.
Yeah, you are there sleeping, you can't hear nothing there. Yes. But I didn't want him to believe in what he was saying until he asked me a question. He said, suppose you don't believe in hell and you die, and you found out that there's no hell, you have nothing to lose, all right? He said, yes. What if there is a hell and you die in your sin and you discover it is there? You're going to go there for eternity. I didn't like the eternity part. At least a week or a month.
And come out
I can't go to hell for forever and ever. Yes. It's the eternity story that freaked me out. So I made a deal with him and I said, okay, I'll go with you to church on condition that you stop preaching. 11 January 1998, wow. That was a setup. God was waiting for me. So I went to church with him. That was the gospel for the first time ever in my life. Wow. It came so firing, brimstone, conviction. I cried. When the thing that broke my heart was actually the worship, the music. When it was praise, people were singing Hallelujah, Hosanna, what a mighty God we say. We were all dancing there. With my cigarettes and the hangover, we were dancing. The moment they changed the music to something they called worship, no. I just see everybody's hands lifted up, people are crying, but they were not in pain. People they are just happy. I try to imitate, I can't, because if you are worshiping God, you have to do it in truth and in spirit. And the preacher came, he started preaching. It's just my life he was talking about. I had no other choice but to respond to the altar call. 1998, 11 January, I gave my life to Christ. The end of that life.
Wow. So you are transformed, and then you begin to get into the Kwaito gospel.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did that happen?
It happened in the church when we discovered that we had a lot of young people in the church.
Yeah.
And then at that time, the Kwaito was booming from South Africa.
Yeah.
So Dog and Gaza were making it very popular here. So then they started having a great following within Namibia. People are following on Shasho, GMP. So everywhere, just like that, it became even like gang stuff. So GMP on Shasho, music. So we thought, so if young people are very interested in this Kwaito, let's do same, but with gospel. For God. So we formed a group. The first one we formed was Eagles in Flight with Ina Noshe. And then after that, we went into eagle's mentality, to think as an eagle, because the eagle is always above every other bird, flying into the storms, not away from the storm. So we wanted to go against the flow. That's why we call it eagle's mentality. And then it worked. Wow. The idea came from the pastor of the church. But then we just wanted to reach out to the young people. We didn't think about it's going to go viral and we'll become artists. We just wanted to evangelize. We were so much on fire just to preach. We were in the streets all the time. We were always going to the street to preach, house to house. We were all over the place, man.
What are some of the challenges that you encountered in the process of the music and this whole transformation? What were some of the obstacles you felt like, now here, this time I just almost give up?
Yeah, you know, I had a few challenges even before the music. In the faith, I was challenged. Because when I built myself up in the faith and I was now established in the Lord, I got married and then the marriage didn't work. It lasted only for 4 months.
Was that some of your regrets?
I think it's a regret because people spoke to me. And some told me to wait, some told me to pray, some told me I shouldn't just look at the clean feet of a woman and the size of her body and the structure and the beauty. Should look at just like what God does. Look at the heart of a woman. But I was in love with what I saw. You know, she was a beautiful girl. She had a very beautiful voice. I thought we could sing together for many years in the house and around the country. I didn't look too much, I think, on the spiritual, even though the person was in the worship team. I was attracted to the physical. And then if I have listened, I could have avoided that. But many are the plans in the man's heart. Well, it is the will of God that will prevail at the end. So because that his perfect will could not prevail, he gave me a permissive one. And I went ahead and married the girl, but 4 months later, she just said straight that she made a mistake. She is not interested anymore. Well, a painful event that happened. And I was not a person that actually drank at that time, since I came to the Lord. I hated alcohol, I hated anything that was, I just hated evil. That event took me back into the street, into the bottle store, into the bars. I started drinking things I never drank before, even as a sinner. As a sinner, I used to drink beer. And my cousins, the one I mentioned earlier, they were into J&B. But I went into Storam. I don't know if people know Storam. It's a drink that I think they gave to horses in the Second World War. It's 80% alcohol.
80%?
80%, yeah. The normal alcohol is about 4. The beer is like 4.
Yeah, exactly.
The other one is like 40, maybe 40% like whiskeys. I went into 80% because I was thinking about ending lives. Thought about ending her life, the guy she was dating, and also ending mine. So I wanted to drink something that to make me not worry about the fear of God. Because the fear of God was always present, you understand? Everybody has that fear, including the sinners. Yeah, that's the one that makes them say, I don't want to go to hell, I'd rather receive him.
Yeah, that fear is always there.
So I went into that almost 4 years, non-stop.
If a young man today decides he wants to marry, with your experience, what would you say to them in our present time?
Yeah, the questions that they must ask themselves is, why do you want to get married? In fact, it's good that you asked that question because I just spoke to somebody yesterday. I asked him, why are you dating this person? She's good. I said, what will the good in her do to your future and to your present? They have to be very careful when answering these questions. Why do you want to marry? Because in the church, sometimes we want to get married because we want to destroy the idea of being honey. But you see, when the honey is gone, then what? So why do you want to get married? Are you within that will of God that you are getting married so that His will is fulfilled in your life, His purpose is fulfilled in your life? Or are you able to go like Paul? Because it doesn't mean that because there's a desire within your body. Once you feel or you quench that thirst, the question is then what?
What?
Yeah. So you have to marry within His will.
What will be some of the words young people out there, they're passionate, listening. They're young people who want to walk either into music or any kind of business. And they are looking up to you. They are looking up to many. But they're hearing your story, your struggles, and all these battles that you've battled with. And you are now established, successful. What do you say to them?
Consistency. Persistence.
Yeah. We normally hear those words, consistency, but translate them, break them down.
And I tell people, if you don't dream, you don't become.
Okay.
Now, many people, what they do is that they have the dream, and they think they will become immediately that dream without the challenges in between. Yeah. And when they see challenges like what I went through, sometimes you have heard people criticizing and say, but I saw that guy, he used to drink what day and day, and yet he called himself a gospel artist. Those are all things that are going to be thrown, not exactly the same way I went through. If you are not prepared to be talked about, you should not start dreaming. Just relax in your house and watch soccer. Because the moment you step out and you want to shine, you see, this is a nice one.
Yeah.
When Jesus Christ was born, his star appeared, and it was shining very bright. That star provoked many people.
Even kings.
Even kings, man. The wise men went after the star to look for the owner of that star. The shepherd also went to look for the owner. Yet Harold the king sent messages that once you found the owner of the star, give me news so I may worship him. People say, God is so powerful on his own. He doesn't need you to sing a song to touch many people. He can just touch them. Then I have this, and I was talking about, when we were talking about prosperity, this came to my mind. You have a dream, but you don't have money to fund your dream. You are a frustrated person, and God will not give money to somebody who doesn't have that dream. This is a good example. There was a hunger that was coming to the world in the days of Joseph. A very great hunger was coming. People were going to die.
Yeah.
In the whole community of Israel, there was nobody who had means to sustain a dream.
Yeah.
So God bypassed all these people and gave a dream to Pharaoh.
Wow.
He said, Pharaoh, since you are one of the richest people of this time, I'll give you the dream and you finance it. So he dreamed about the 7 cows that were thin and the 7 cows that were fed. Wow. And eventually 7 years of hunger and 7 years of plenty. Why? He was the only one that has money to build containers for his dream to be sustained.
Hey!
Yet he was not a believer.
Wow. That is the power of purpose. You heard from the man. You got to be committed. You got to be consistent. That is what made them who they are. Today they inspire you. You have heard of their dark side. But today they are here as a light, as a star that can also guide you into your own destiny, into your own purpose. So, Mr. D-naff, it was a pleasure having you. It's an honor. Thank you so much, sir.
I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.